Oh, I should probably run the credits. That was a long. It's still going. Holy kick! There we go. That's one of David's. That's one of David's things.
Where's David again?
David is out today.
He's taking a day off.
Yeah, David is out today.
So how are you doing?
I'm good.
What have you been doing? Anything interesting?
I've been traveling. I've been traveling like usual.
You travel a lot. I travel much more than I do. I don't feel like traveling somehow. I like to stay home and work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of work lately and different. We would be showing them. I sent today, of course, late, but we'll see them next time. It's kind of a new series, like coming out. It's a little different, but I like to play.
Right.
So, and
I know, unfortunately, since David's not here, we won't be able to show the.
we will show them next time. There'll be maybe more. There will be, because I'm already working on the third artwork of this. I've already done 2. We'll see how long it'll keep me interested, because that's my problem sometimes, that I get bored very easily, because I like to play. I think that big part of the creation is the game itself. For me, it's kind of drugs also, because there are a lot of things going on in the world. When I go and create and I'm into this world, it's like different universe. Like the other, it exists, but what exists from it are some metaphors that I want to portray on the stuff, whatever it is, canvas, if it's pixel something on the monitor, doesn't matter really. Because this is also something that, I've been working on many mediums. I've tried painting, 3D, real sculpture, not so much, but maybe later. Real sculpture is a difficult one, for me at least. And you hear me well? Oh, I don't hear you now. We have a problem again with the microphone. I don't hear. You looks like you're muted on the other one. On the left one that I see. Yes? No.
You hear me?
Oh, now I hear you.
Now you hear me?
Yes.
All right, there we go. Okay. As long as you can hear me.
Yes, I hear.
Okay, good. So what I was saying is that I saw the art that you were going to put out today for us to look at, but because David got sick, we weren't able to show it. But it's absolutely gorgeous.
You saw those? You saw the eyes?
Oh yeah, I looked at the stuff, and it's like it's always wonderful, and it's always beautiful and pretty. So I'm very.
So you're the first one to see the one with the 2 eyes.
Yeah, I saw that this morning, and I was like, that is really cool.
I finished it just today.
Okay.
And they're interesting, aren't they? Yeah.
Yes.
Because this, I really tell you, when I'm there and creating, I don't know how the other artists feel, but from what I've been talking around, they feel different things, but they are in the same kind of space like I am. That means that we are totally, isolated from the rest. I don't know really what's going on. I just watch it in some news and I see, oh, the war is going on there, the war is going on there. Usual stuff in a way, which is not usual. We shouldn't be used to these things.
All the unpleasantness that's going on.
Yeah, very much so. And
Yeah,
yeah, you know something. It seems that the world is cooking into something new,
I think
and
it's
this new,
trying, but
yeah, it's trying.
it's not cooking into something perfect, which is very bad. You know, I mean,
Look, there is no
it's
perfection.
getting worse.
Perfection is a human
Right.
concept.
But the
Uh,
world is getting worse. It's not getting better. You know what I mean? It's like what's going on in the Middle East, if you will, is like terrible. And it's just
it's very terrible.
it's getting worse. So, that's a bad thing. So, and I don't think
Yeah,
people take a look at it in that respect. I think that most people don't understand. I know the college kids here, I was watching the news and they're all protesting against Israel. And I'm like, you have no clue of what's going
yeah.
on. How can you be protesting about something you know nothing of? You know,
You know,
it's
there
terrible.
is, you know, something. There are a lot of things and protesting going on. Not every protest that is against Israel is against the state of Israel or against the people of Israel. I think they are against the actions that are happening in Gaza, which are have gone too far in a way, you know.
Yeah, but look
And
at it
it's
this
always
way.
like this. You
When
can say that every war is going too far, right?
right, right, right.
There's
But
no, no
the problem here though was is that when they came over and attacked Israel, they were going house to house and killing people and raping. I mean, it's terrible. The Israelis are going
very
house to house
terrible.
just to try to find it's Hamas or Hezbollah to get rid of them. Like they're not raping anybody and killing anybody and women and children and whatnot, right? So I think that's the difference. So I think they're doing it somewhat humane, but everybody now is up in arms about that, which is a little bit crazy. So we're going to have to see, I think, how this plays out. So it's
There's
very,
nothing else we can do. I just hope
yeah,
that this thing is really painful for both sides and other
right,
sides also. There are other people around the world which we at least we can tell that okay, there are fanatism, but in general we don't want these wars.
right.
I can
No,
tell,
nobody wants
everybody
a
can
war.
tell, nobody wants them.
Right,
So we have to think about why they are happening then, you know. And we have to put at least some blame. I mean, with the little people, you know, which we don't.
right,
I tell you that I see rights from both sides and I see wrongs from both sides.
right.
They need to come to
An
agreement.
agreement. But the
They have
problem is
to.
you can't come here's why you can't come to an agreement with them when they said that they want to eradicate all Jews. Very difficult to have an agreement with someone who wants to get rid of your whole race. Right? That's a bad thing. The other
That's a
thing
very
is
bad
that
thing.
none of this, if I'm reading, I finished a book called The World months ago. It's a great book. But it was talking about how the Jews and the Muslims and everybody they lived together. They would, of course, they would fight, but they fight over not religion. They fight over territory. They fight over slaves. It was more the Egyptians. It was, Genghis Khan, all these people. All of a sudden, religion comes into play, like 100 CE, and now everybody hates the Jews. It was like sort of like overnight. It was one day everyone's like, yeah, who are we going to hate? Let's hate the Jews. And it was sort of like,
You think
if
you
it
think
wasn't
it
for,
was like that?
I literally, from what I'm reading, yes. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more into it, and I would love for a
There must
historian to
be
come on
more.
that
And
really
I
knows.
was wondering why there is such
Hatred?
movement. Yeah, why there is so.
I don't
Well,
know. I
what the
mean, if
people did. I mean,
we
I
didn't
know
do,
some
I don't think, you know what it
history.
is? I think the problem is that in the beginning, the Jews were the bankers. The Jews had the money. The Jews were this. They were doing, blah, 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 blah. And other people too. The Asians did it. The Muslim, everybody had it. But for some reason, when the Catholics came along, when the Pope, the guy with the funny hat and pointy shoes, showed up, all of a sudden, it was like we're going to kill the Jews. A lot of it, I think, it stems from the fable that everybody thinks that we killed Jesus, which is not true. You know what I mean? A Roman soldier is the one who did the deed, and the guy who gave him the thumbs up and down wasn't. So I think a lot of it is people just don't read history, know history, or care to know or read it. And that's part of the problem, right? They're just like, oh, we have to hate these people. And you go, why? And they don't know. You know what I mean? Like they could sit with you at a pub, have a pint, or smoke a cigar with you. And if you never told them
The
you were
prejudice has
Jewish,
started very, very
yeah,
old times
yeah.
when
But my
people
point is
actually
that
were
they
quite,
were Jewish. Nobody would
yeah,
care. And
just
it's
listening
just like
stories and
ridiculous.
whatever.
Religion, in my opinion, and people are going to hate this, and nor do I care. Sucks cock. Full stop. Bullshit. because if it wasn't for religion,
Well, the
you would have
institutions.
no, you have right, but you would have no fighting. We'd have no war. We'd have no, everything is religion. After religion then becomes, it's territorial. It becomes whatever after. But most of the stuff is all religion based. Like we want to convert you to this. We want to do, that's bullshit. So I think it's,
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan. Like like I joked about, I
religion.
think last
Yes, I
week on the
know.
show. Yeah, I was like, at least in my religion, we pay for everything. It's like, yeah, but everybody else it's ridiculous. So I think that's a big problem. I think that a big problem is this organization called the church. So
Yeah,
I'm glad people want to believe in
institution.
something, but believe in little green men from Mars. It's probably better, and they're not
Well,
going to kill us.
if
Just
there are too many people who start to believe in little green things,
Mhm.
there will be some party or somebody, some institution that will take
Right,
care of it because they are voters. So this is what I'm saying often, that look, the people actually have power. We do
right,
have power. They don't need to, fake the elections. Like, I mean,
right,
in the liberal world, right, where we live.
right.
In other countries, they don't they have to do anything. They just,
I
I
know,
don't
right?
know. In
The other
China, I
countries
think the guy
they don't get to
said,
vote.
let's, in China, I think the guy said, why were we making votes and stuff? Let's make me forever
Right.
president. That's it. And that's what happened. No,
Well,
yeah,
it's
he's
his fourth
forever
term or his
president.
third. Yeah, it's
No,
his
no,
third or
I
fourth
think
term,
he's now for infinite. I think, I'm not sure.
no, no.
I tell you,
I
I don't
think they're going to
follow the
have
news so much.
they're going to have a
And
fake election. I mean, they're going to have an election, and he'll get voted
yeah,
in again. It's kind of like what Putin did in Russia. It's like, look, I've been president now for 20 years, and it's like it's an autocrat. He's a dictator. We got it, and that's
of
what
course,
Trump is
there's
hoping.
some.
And here, and
Yes, there's nobody
Trump is hoping
else.
in 2014 he becomes an autocrat, so he can now go
Yeah.
after everybody that has wronged him. So this is going to be interesting to see. The problem is that I think most people don't want Trump and most people don't want Biden, but there's nobody else running. The Democrats need to bring somebody else to run, and I think the Republicans at least have somebody that
That's what
is a
they'll
little more
do.
down
That's
to
what
earth.
they'll do.
I know,
Because in the USA right now, there's and in general in the West, there's
right?
a very big need of something, a fresh air, something new.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
first of all, because now it's all media, not it's all media, but media plays a very big role in the how in our minds everything is constructed.
right,
And but we cannot forget the symbolism, the metaphors that I say. Metaphors are
right.
the language of the universe. So they're gonna
I
speak
agree.
with metaphors. So there'll be a new guy from both sides,
Right?
and a new guy will run the U.S. with the new ideas, and we need those new ideas. We are at the stage that
Yeah,
we need.
we
I
we
think that
need a guy that
U.S.
has.
is a very very mature democracy. It's more mature
Like
than
we'll
what I
see. We'll see what
see.
happens in 2024, my friend.
Yeah, okay. Look, we are living in very complicated times. We have to understand
Yeah,
that. They are complicated not because there are wars only. There are wars
right,
because of something, and because of something. It's so complicated you cannot actually say why there are wars. Well,
right.
the answer is it's in our nature. So we need
Yes,
to make our nature better, or at least think
right,
no wars anymore, not this kind of conflicts,
right,
violent, and they don't take us you know into the challenge that we have to face, because our real problems are not some territory, because soon there'll be no territory for anybody. You understand?
right.
The problem is
I agree.
bigger. But we start to see the small fire. Until you see the big fire, you have to see some small fires. But the small fires can tell you that, look, we got a problem, and we have.
Right,
And now it's a time that all the citizens of this world should look at it and should understand that we are citizens of the world, because we are now. What we call
yes.
globalization is actually a term that, if I can make a call to you, to the US or to
Mhm.
Australia in real time, now no, it's globalized. Everything. Can we go there? Yeah,
Right,
it's more money, if you have the money to travel there and the time,
right,
right? Besides that, I think to most of the countries there is no problem actually. Okay, we cannot
right.
go to Russia. Maybe now we cannot go to the push the button guy. Huh? How you call him?
North Korea, yeah.
The
Missile
North
boy, you
Korea
can't go to
boy.
Missile boy. Yeah, I don't think
Yes,
anybody
Missile
wants to
Boy,
really go to
Missile
North.
Boy.
I don't think anybody wants to go see Missile Boy. I mean,
Well, I
I'm
think
sure it's a
so.
lovely
I don't
country,
know what
but
to see
I don't think anybody
actually
wants to go.
there. I don't know. It's
Miss,
but
you'll see Missile Boy. That's what you see. You go see Missile
miss,
Boy.
miss,
It's very
yeah, it's a
exciting. You'll see
miserable.
Missile
You
Boy.
see, this is also crazy. There's a guy
Right.
there who, if he wakes up in a very, very bad day, I don't know why,
Yeah.
because he has a big headache and they
Right.
cannot cure it.
Yeah.
We're in deep shit, you see,
Yeah.
in a
Pretty
way.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this is crazy that we humans, we the very clever humans that we're talking about quantum mechanics, that we're talking
Right.
about AI, because we constructed AI. It didn't create itself.
Right.
Us, we didn't construct. It was
Well, we don't know
created
that,
by. Well,
right?
I didn't construct myself. That
No, no, but you don't. We don't know who
would make me
constructed us.
better.
That's what I'm saying. So now they've got the new with quantum mathematics and all the other stuff. It's like we're living in a matrix. We're living in a game. So nobody knows. So that's my 14 billion is a time frame that we put on things. So, but nobody knows where we came from. There's a book out there that says, and
I think
one of
many
the
people know.
Harvard professors say we were basically brought here to do whatever. You've got people who think God created us, whatever the God is. There's people that believe in the Big Bang. There's people bringing string theory. But you can't ask anybody on this planet and get 1,000%. I mean, they can believe what they want, but they don't know. Even the guy with the funny hat who lives in Rome can tell you all about the creation. And the question then is great. If that's what you believe, who created that guy? And they can't answer that, right? Because nobody knows. Nobody was around when it all started. And so until somebody from the beginning of X, and there will never be because it's just infinite, no one will ever really know. And that's the
I
whole
think
thing.
we know every day. I think we know
I
every
don't think
day.
so. I think the CIA came
I,
up with a report in 1989 called the Absolute. It's called the Gateway Project. We talked about this once. It's called the
yes,
Absolute,
yes.
and the Absolute is everything. And the Absolute's been around forever. And I'm sure there was something before that. So when you go, your energy goes back to the Absolute. Then the Absolute spits you back out into whether it's Earth or wherever other universes are multidimensional,
You're
and
asking
it
you're
controls
asking the
everything.
biggest question. What is fundamental? Yeah, this is the question actually.
No,
What is
the biggest
fundamental?
question is what's the best scotch in the world? But that's the biggest question. The next question is what's the
Do we have
fundamentals?
an
So
answer to that?
yeah, Macallan 50. Come on. So
Oh,
we
really?
know that
I
answer.
don't know. I don't
I know
drink
you'll
whiskey so much.
you'll hang with me. You'll drink some whiskey. But yeah,
Okay.
so it's very interesting that people don't know, and it's good that people have opinions. But to your point, like when you talk about free will and fundamentals, it's very interesting because in theory, is there free will? I know we discussed this last week, or is it there's no free will, right? It's one of those things where it really is up in the air, and people don't know. They all think what they think, but are we programmed to think like that? Is there really is, it's all this that keeps going and going and going. So it's very interesting to me.
That's what
So
life is. Very interesting
I know
thing.
life is
Very
it's the
interesting
game,
project.
right?
It
It's a
can have
game of
it can
life.
have all the outcomes that you see from every people, every
Correct.
living organism, all the
Right.
outcomes of an experience,
Yes.
experienced
Yeah.
life.
But
And
people don't.
look, we are trying to find out what was the fundamental, what was the beginning, what created everything, etc. But
Right.
look, we're always we are still very not much advanced. We've just popped
Right.
up, and with our
Yeah.
intelligence, and with this intelligence, we already know that we know. First of all, we know
Right.
that we know. It's a very important thing. It's metacognition. Only we have it.
Right.
And second is that we start the big question, like, okay, so I see some followings in nature. This created I put something in the earth, I put a
Yeah.
seed, and the seed is growing and it's making, creating. I see a direction of course, a time, something like that. But you
Yeah.
are into this world, you are part of this world, and you are just a segment of this world, but you are this world. Every part
Right.
of this world contains the world itself, but it's
Correct.
appearing to us in a specific configuration. It's mental
Yeah.
configuration. That's what I say, that
Right.
everything is mental. You
Yeah.
cannot describe the thing before everything, the fundamental, with the words that you use a human. You cannot do it. You cannot do it with this
Yeah.
mind and those concepts that you have, because it's a much, much broader and bigger concept. It is a concept because the concept itself, it was given to us. We didn't invent anything. It was all over here. It was one of the possibilities of the outcomes of the universe, and we are living it. Now
Right.
that what we are doing was not something that we think we invented it, but yeah, who invented us? You always go to this fundamental question. So only the fundamental created everything, and the fundamental is beyond
Correct.
everything. It's beyond what you say. What was before? The word before implies time. Something before
Yeah, right.
something else. Well,
So,
before, but time is not fundamental. It's
right.
fundamental for us to
Right. So according to
experience.
this, so according to the CIA's Gateway Project, everything you just described is called the absolute. That's what it
Yes, we
is.
are
It's called
talking
the
about the
absolute.
absolute. You can give any
Yeah.
kind of name up for it. Absolute's a good name
Right.
for it. It's a very
And
good
that's
name.
the CIA calls it the absolute. There's a
It
kernel.
is. It's the absolute.
There's a whole. You can find it. All you have to look is Gateway Project CIA on the internet, and there will be a 26
It's
page thing. You can read all about it. It's fascinating, and it talks about how they had soldiers, not really, but people that sit in a chair and they could go to other dimensions and go to the absolute and do everything. It was totally fascinating. So I read the paper. I saw a show on it. And I read it. I was fascinated. And out of everything I've read, that makes the most sense. Better than the Big Bang, better than string, better than there's a God,
Look,
the
big
absolute.
bangs and everything. Those are
Right.
kind of like Bernardo Kastrup is saying. The philosopher is saying they're convenient fictions, and I
Yes.
believe he is right because those convenient fictions, they are working for us. They are helping us, and this is they are very, very helpful at. This is what we need them. The science and
Right.
everything. It's working. We have found out. We look. It's not perfect, but is it working? If
Right.
we send the satellite there, it's working. Yeah, yeah. So we use it.
Right. Right.
We use it. But there are
It's the
some
path of least
gaps.
resistance.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's not the final truth. Of course, it's not the final truth because we are not
Right.
capable of perceiving a very small portion of the final truth. Actually, we see
Right.
those final truths in front of us, but we interpreted them in a wrong way. We interpret
Right.
them. We don't interpret them. We just see something, and that's it.
Yep.
Although now the science is telling you what you see, it's not what it actually is. They're telling us this. We just
Right.
don't. This is why, at the beginning of our conversations, this is why this world is changing now very much. We have to put new ideas into our head. We
Right.
are putting a new head. We are going through a very big change. It's a turning point of the civilization, what we're living,
Right.
because it is asked from us from now on, because we have the technology now and we can see it works, and this transition, uh, any kind of transition is painful always. It's about power as well, and power
Right.
is creating wars and stuff like this and many things amongst other. And we are entering a new world, a mechanical human, metahuman. We're entering metahuman period of
Okay.
I think soon there will be some implants to our heads and stuff like that. That
Well, that's what
will,
Elon Musk wants to do. Elon wants to
yeah.
put implants
Many
in
people
our
want to do it.
brains.
You know, they don't know how
Yeah.
to do it. That's what they are
You know,
working on. How?
there was a there was a television series. It was the Twilight Zone, and then there was Outer Reaches or Outer Ranger, and they did a show once where people all had implants except this one kid. And one day the supercomputer died for whatever reason, right? They lost power, it just didn't work. And he's the only one on the whole planet that knew how to read, knew how to write without a chip. So everybody that would make fun of him for years, because they're like, oh, you're an idiot, you don't know, you have to read. When the supercomputer died and their chips died, he was the one that had to teach all these supposedly smart people basics. So I'm not so much, I don't know if I really want an implant in my brain. I don't mind if I wear a pair of glasses, put on, something in my ear, baseball cap with, I'm good with that. I don't really know if I want an implant that's going to be like, I can access the internet. I want to, when I fly, I see these people on their telephone texting and typing. And when I get on an airplane, I shut my phone off and close my laptop. That is, whether it's 1 hour or 18 hours, that is my leave me alone time. That is my, I don't care. I'm not solving the cure for cancer. I'm not working on world peace. I'm just doing investment banking. We're good. And that's it. And I find that that's my downtime. Same when I go to bed. I turn my phone off. It's on the other side of the room. I don't look at it until the morning. I just don't. I think that's the problem. Everybody thinks they need to be connected because they think they're so important and they're not. And I think that's a big problem. People want to be like, I got to know. You don't have to know anything. Most of them don't read the newspaper. They watch TikTok or Instagram. That's what they know. Listen, you'll be okay. Read a newspaper, then you got to know. Like I get up everything first thing in the morning after I walk the dog, read the Financial Times. And that's it. I want to know what's going on in the world, so I can talk to people intelligently and have an opinion, not get something off of TikTok or Instagram that's crap. So, but I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
think people
yeah.
do that. So to
Well,
your point, that's
everybody
the
does.
problem.
No, no, this is not the problem. This is how it was meant to be.
I'm hoping not,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
society's getting dumber,
Well,
not smarter.
this is from your point of view, but what
This is from
nature is
everybody's
trying
point of
to
view.
do, what?
Have you
Well,
have you talked to people under a certain age? So,
well, I don't know. I don't know. You have to test them in any kind of situation, but
right,
I don't know. It's complicated matter, very complicated.
right,
I think that we are evolving in the way that we are evolving,
right,
and of course, we have based our lives very much into technology. If technology fails, we are failing.
right.
I can't see a civilization like the one we have, mm, like living without technology right now. Can you
Right.
imagine? I
Nope.
cannot.
Well, we can't, because we wouldn't have what we have. You wouldn't have, airplanes and jets and weapons and television, the internet. I mean, like, technology is great because it moves us forward, but I think there's a point where people become complacent because of technology. Like, you know what I mean? It's like they don't read, they don't think, they don't do this. It's sort of like, oh, they don't babysit. Here, perfect
They
example. In
don't
our
have
restaurant,
analytic thinking. Yeah, they don't.
they don't have
They
any
just
thinking. But it's even like when I was a kid, my parents, when I went to a restaurant, I had to learn how to behave, right? I was taught manners. Now, when people go to a restaurant, they give their kid an iPad. The kid's watching whatever cartoon they're watching, and that's the babysitter. So technology is great for learning and advancing a civilization, but when you're using it to do other things, like to develop your children, I don't agree with that. I also don't agree with the fact that kids don't write on paper anymore. They write on their iPads. And I know by writing on paper, you retain more, but we're writing on iPads. Why? And some schools don't even have them write. Most of the kids can't write cursive anymore. You know what I mean? It's like they're losing X. And not that I
This
want to
is
be
what
a
I'm
10
trying to
million year
tell
old
you. We
guy.
are going through a
Yeah,
big change now.
yeah,
We
but
are
and not a
going through
positive
a
one.
turning point.
Yeah,
Well, positive or not, it's a change. For the universe
right.
does not exist positive, negative. That's what I'm trying to
Right.
say.
For us, it does, though. For this
Well,
little blue
then
marble,
then
the third rock from the sun, it
okay,
does.
okay. So I'm gonna ask something else. Did this
Sure.
change came or is coming actually or happening in front of the eyes of the humans? They cannot think to what they are changing to. They cannot
No, they see it, but they're too stupid to
justice
do
it.
anything. No, they're too
So
stupid.
they're gonna pay.
Yeah. 8 billion people on the planet, 15 people get it. And the other 7 billion and change are just like, okay. People are sheep. And I've seen this since I was a kid. People will just blindly follow whatever. And nobody says, what about this? Oh, that's interesting. But have we thought about that? Can we do this? People just go, oh, okay. Which is why we have
Well,
the
okay,
state of chaos that
but
we have.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But finally, they decide to what? What is proposed to them,
Well, it depends
right?
what it is. They blindly follow leaders. They blindly follow technology.
Yeah, but those leaders didn't
They all
come up
think Elon
by
Musk is.
themselves, right? They didn't.
Yeah, but they even Elon Musk, they all think he's a god, and nobody says, "Well, what about this?" And what about, like, there's like Elon Musk? Yeah,
Well,
this
if they
guy's a
think that they are
douche.
gods, they will
Yeah, but,
see pretty soon that they are not. I
I don't
mean,
know about that. Even listen,
oh
not
come
I'm not a
on,
fan of God.
everybody will know
No,
at
no,
one point, even if
really.
you're
Here,
Elon Musk.
let's.
No,
I'll give you a perfect
okay,
example. Donald Trump, right? He tried to
yeah.
overthrow the government in January 6th. He still has people that think he's like, oh my God, he should be president. He's the best person. He literally tried to overthrow America and democracy. Okay. but people still follow him. And if you want to go to another one that people blindly followed till it was too late, go back to 1938. Little guy with a mustache, okay? And they blindly followed him into a war. They blindly followed him to eradicating or trying to eradicate a whole population. People blindly follow because they're sheep, and nobody stands up, nobody speaks, and nobody does anything. Now they all
A lot of
fight,
people
if you will,
speak.
or get mad behind Twitter or TikTok. Nobody has the balls to say it like, if I disagree with someone, I will tell you face to face. I will call you, right? If you're my friend or my acquaintance, I will tell you. But people go on TikTok and Twitter and they're like, listen, you got no balls. You're a little pussy. You have something to say, get the balls and go on a show and say, I would like to voice my opinion. But we're not Fox News. There's no screaming and hollering. You talk like we're talking. And that people can't do because they don't know the art of dialogue, the art of a debate. It's all gone. We don't have it. Even when you watch the presidential
Yeah,
debate, they're all
because
screaming and hollering at each other like
but
kids.
that's what man, I tell you,
Yeah.
I'm saying that we're going through the biggest change in
I
humanity.
agree.
How did
I
you
agree.
imagine it? It would be
Uh,
something,
uh, I
easy
think
or
I think I was just hoping for the lizard people to finally come take over the planet, and it would be much easier. And that's what I was
well,
going for.
look, there are two outcomes. Either we destroy
Right.
ourselves, either we don't,
Right.
right?
There's a third.
Which one?
An alien can come and either destroy us or not destroy us as well.
Okay,
I think there's
so we
four.
can put
I
it
think
into
there's
our
four. And
distractions anyway.
right, wait,
Either we
and
do
here's
it
a
by
fifth one.
ourselves, either something else does it.
Here's the fifth one. Now we have AI. Now will because AI could
Yeah,
destroy
AI,
us
it
or
is
it can't
an
destroy
alien
us.
technology. It is
Yeah,
kind of an alien technology. Maybe
yeah.
it's about AI. Maybe it's about
Maybe AI
AI
is going to
taking
come.
over. It's
Yep.
not going because it'll as an look. I don't think it has consciousness, and it will never have. It's
Right.
what I think
Right.
because from what I see, consciousness is a kind of experience, is a flow
Yes.
experience that I believe that we have, the dogs have, but I cannot see it on the machine, and I will never see it. It will only
Yeah.
trick me
Right.
because
Right.
I know it. It doesn't
Because
have
it doesn't have it.
feelings. My
Right.
feelings, sometimes my feelings are wrong in a way, but I do have
Right.
them.
Yes.
I have this enormous. I see something like a blue color, and I like it, in a sense that, and it's totally mine in a way. At
Right.
the same time, that it is universal and mine because we
Right.
are dissociated.
Yeah.
But I don't think that the machine will have this. It's
No.
coming from
And
something totally different. It
I,
does have. We have two things. We have the
yeah.
feelings. We have those richness of feelings, of
Right. Right.
perceptions like this of the world, which is quality. And we
Right.
have also calculations, which is quantity. We do one and one equals two, and all of the
Right.
stuff that comes from it,
Sure.
which comes into AI also.
Right. Right.
Mathematical formulas are these, are
Yeah. Zeros
mathematical
and ones.
models. Of
But
course.
here's what's interesting about what you're saying. A friend of mine, Kelly, he used to say, and it always stuck with me. And this has got to. I'm going back 30 years. He always used to say, like creates like. And I always found that very interesting. When AI now is coming out, it resonates more with me now than it did 30 years ago because like is creating like. So there was um, a I want to say a Japanese company. I read an article a couple of days ago. It was either in the Economist or Financial Times, and they said they're trying to bring advancement to AI where you will not be able to tell the difference between an AI machine or a human when you meet them. So like
Yes, yes, of
creates like,
course.
right? But so my question then is, wait, so who's to say we're not the machine? And 10, 20, 50 million, a billion years ago, somebody said, let's create this. And we took over, got rid of our overlords, and now we're creating the next set of us to get rid of us.
Look, it's a matter of identity. When you say I, what do you mean I?
Right. Well, I mean, when I say I mean the
In
human
this in
population,
the new works that you've
right?
seen, because
Yeah.
there are eyes, but I call
Yeah.
them like sad. One I already posted. The second
Right.
one I haven't. But the one
Okay.
with the eye with a woman like
Yep.
this,
Yep.
it's called sad eye, but I call it with I
Right.
because
Right.
it's also an identity issue. What do we mean when we say I?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
when you ask me what is I don't feel actually that my leg is I, because if it is cut, hopefully not, and I have one
Right.
leg only, I'll be not as functional as I was, but I'll still be I. So
Right.
that
Right.
means that this leg was not I. It's not actually
Right.
part. Yes, because it's a vehicle. It's a tool. The body that you
Yeah.
have is a tool.
Yeah.
It's a tool
No, I
for
agree with
some
that.
reasons. We didn't construct it. Actually, what we
Right.
do only, and this is the only thing that we can do, we fulfill the will of the nature. Nature
Right.
wanted AI. Maybe nature wants us to be weak, to be in a decadence and
I
destroy
think so.
ourselves,
I think
so
so.
that less of us will remain, but only those
Right.
more thinking, I don't know, some
Right.
selected pieces of humans.
Oh, so I'll
And
be
I don't
here.
know,
That's good.
we've seen many different
Right.
kind of science fiction movies. We talk about
Yeah.
society in the future.
Yep.
Some of them may be closer to the truth, how it will be, how it will evolve. But what
I
will evolve, it's something that nature does through us. It wants
right.
it to
Well, I will
be
say
like
this.
this.
Yeah, no, I agree. What I will say is when I talk to my AI, when I use my chat GPT 4, I always say good morning and thank you to it. And everybody I know laughs at me and they're like, why do you do that? I'm like, because when AI takes over, I want my chat GPT 4 to tell all the other AI that I was the nice human and that I should be allowed to live. And I'm like, full stop. That's it. I mean, but I always say, like this morning, I had to use it for something. I'm like, good morning. How are you doing? It's like, great. How can I help you? I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, yep. And then when it's all done, I go, that's great. Thank you very much. It goes, you're welcome. Let me know if you need anything else. It's like, I'm like, no, no, being polite, being friendly. I just don't know. So when the rise of the machines come, as they did in Terminator, I want them to be like, oh, here's a good human. He can stay. So, that's kind of how I look at it, but we'll see. But I agree with you. Um, when you say I, there's more to it than I. It's a bigger concept.
It's a bigger issue, and you know something, because what I believe, what we are in the metahuman, we are entering the metahuman era, is means that there'll
Right.
be a combination between human and machine. So I don't think
Yep.
there'll be a rise of machine alone. It will be human machine.
Right.
I mean, we will
Yep.
have a lot of machines, but the super machine will be us, because we will have
We hope.
elevated. No, no. If we don't kill ourselves, okay, and
And
yeah, or
in
if
there, my
the
friend, lies the rub.
global, yeah, everything is
Right.
in the it can everything can happen. Look,
Right. Right.
do we control actually this? I
Do we
mean,
control what?
anything, even the wars or anything like this, do we control it or
I
not? Because
I think we like to, I think we like to think we control it. Whether we really control it or
yes,
not, I have no idea.
we have a kind of illusion that we control things, and it's nice
Right.
because okay, it's a needed ingredient for us to live. I tell you,
Right.
how the way we live and the way we perceive the world is not the way the world is. It's one segment of it, because we are one segment of it.
Right.
But we are more extended. It seems to me, because we can see it, or we can observe it from the world that
Right.
we live, that we have more vivid imagination. We can the body is also better suited for things with imagination. We can create things
Right.
from our hands, stuff that it's not really needed, artworks.
Right.
I
No,
don't.
artworks are needed. Always, always
Well,
needed.
yes, because your spiritual side says this, but
Right.
you have a
Oh,
very
yours.
strong spiritual
Yeah.
side. My dog doesn't. You're an
Okay.
elevated being in every way.
Right.
But as you say, there are some parts of that, because there is no perfection in nature, and
Right.
sometimes the more it's not enough. We need the balance. I'm always saying about the balance. We need the balance. It's not enough to be clever. You have to be
Right.
also passionate,
Right.
to have compassion to others, to understand others, to try to understand others, they pain
Right.
they're going through, everything, not to judge easily things. No, this is like that, because it doesn't fit to my point of view and system of judgment.
Right.
We do this very often, and fanatism is the easiest one of it, because it says, Jews shit, that's it, it's totally black and
Right.
white, which doesn't happen in the universe.
Right.
So
That's true.
it's part of the universe. It's part of the universe. But it's the extremest part of the universe.
Right,
And in the extreme parts, there is no life, actually. We are not, if you
right,
think about it from the cosmological point of view, we are in the very nice place where water can be water, can be also be
right,
steam, and can be ice. It brings more environment for life to come out of it.
right.
Enrichment. It's very balanced place where we live, and this place will not stay for long, because our sun
Right.
will for long. Well, judging by our
A million
perspective
years.
of point of view, yeah,
Right.
all billions, 4 billion years.
No, million
It's
years. They
four
say the
billion.
sun will burn out in a million years.
No. It's billions. It's billions for
Are you
sure.
sure? Because
Yeah,
I
our
thought
sun is quite young, still quite young. And this
I thought it
sun
was a
also,
million.
it's
It
not.
said.
No, million. No, man, million would be not. It's nothing to cosmological. It'll be next door.
No.
No,
Wait a minute. It burns
next
out in
door.
a million years. Trust me when I tell you. Hold on a second.
4 billions, I tell you.
All right, hold
And
on. When does
we're
the
in the
sun burn
middle,
out?
because about 4 millions is the age of the of our
Okay.
Earth.
Eventually, the fuel of the sun hydrogen will run out. When this happens, the sun will begin to die. But don't worry, it should not. You're correct. For about another 5 billion years
Yeah,
after the
five
hydrogen run
billions.
out,
You
there'll be
say,
a
you
wait.
see.
Wait. Listen to this. After the hydrogen runs out, there'll be a period of 2 to 3 billion years where the sun will go through a phase of a Death Star. So that's cool. So you get to watch yourself die. Awesome. That's going to be great. So,
Look, but you can see an evolution. You can see a pattern that the sun is,
right.
but in millions, billions of years. But
Right.
still, it knows what to do into this time,
Right. Right.
because this is its life. It's
Right.
got. It maybe has. I don't believe that sun is God, but it is in consciousness. So there is something evolving in this time, and the perception
Mhm.
of the time of this period. It's alive for it.
Yeah. I
For us,
agree.
it's too long, but
Yep.
it knows what to do. It knows
Right.
that it's going to, be bigger, then go smaller, and it'll be like for trillions of years, like not black star, how they are called,
A
draw
dying star, a dwarf. You have a dwarf
dwarf
star.
star that they
Dwarf
live.
star.
Yeah,
Okay.
they live
Yeah.
for trillions. They
Yeah.
are not dwarf
Well,
star yet. We're living still
right.
in a
But
very early
Snow
universe.
White had some dwarf stars too. So
Yeah,
just trying to help out. So, well, Adam, it was good to see you, my friend. I always like. Are you going to
yeah,
do a show next Monday?
yeah. Why not? We can try.
All right. We'll go off air. We'll talk about a calendar so your fans can see you because
Yeah.
your
Maybe
live
we'll
shows
see the
are doing
new
good.
works, because they are interesting.
Yeah.
Because they also have. This is kind of at the same time funny and serious part of me at the
Yes.
same time, because I play, but I also try, to. They have a meaning that they are the way they are. So,
Right.
but we'll
Well,
talk more about it when we see.
David should be back next week, hopefully.
Yeah,
I think
we
he's
hopefully
having a
that.
sex change, so he's going to become a
Oh,
man.
it's
I'm very
nothing. If
excited.
he's
Yeah,
sure
it's
of
good.
what he's doing, then it's
There you go.
nothing.
So no, I think he's just under the weather, so he'll be back next week, and he's the one who controls the pictures, and the one behind me. So there you go. So it'll be very cool. But it's always good to see you, my friend. And
Good
don't
to see you,
everybody, this
Steven.
is
Always.
Adam on the Eve. He has his live
Yeah,
shows, and then we rebroadcast them later in the day. So if you missed any part of it, feel free to do it. Don't forget to subscribe and like. And below, there's a link to his merch, so you can get. He showed a really cool coffee mug last week, so you can get a really cool coffee mug with his artwork on it. Which is, there you go, limited production stuff. There's only 250 of those that will ever be made, and that's it. So, and I think people have been buying them, so it's interesting. So we'll
we'll
see.
be drinking on the
I'm gonna
same
get one
cup.
now. I have to have David send me one so I can have one so I can drink it on the show.
All right.
Yeah, very cool. All right, my friend. We will see you here. I'll take us out and I'll talk to you. Everybody have a great day. Cheers.
Okay. Bye bye. That's it.